Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hey everybody, welcome. Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. I'll try to be nice and civil today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Are there a lot of interruptions here? Krishna, Hare Hare, Shamagri. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Switch the cell phone. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it should be better now. Hare Krishna Hare. Let me know if it's better. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. See if it gets any better. There's nothing I can do. So just gonna Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. We just have to do the best we can. If it gets too bad, I just won't broadcast, I guess. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's just read a little bit here. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. Let's do the best we can while we got some internet. So Rukmini is asking to be kidnapped by Lord Krishna, and the Lord is playing in the play here. Tomorrow I am supposed to wed Shishupal, so immediately come without delay. At first remain secretly near the palace in hiding, and then enter the palace assembly with your army. You must take me from the midst of such kings as Saiba, Salva, and Jarasandha with your valor and might. This is the opportunity to show off your Kshatriya pride and strength. Your wife is not meant to be desecrated by Shishupal. However, you will have to kidnap me from amongst my friends and relatives. So you must be very careful not to harm them. I have a plan how you can accomplish how this can be accomplished, and I place it before for your approval. At your lotus feet, it is customary in our family that the bride to be visits the temple of Durga Devi on the day before her marriage. This is the best chance for you to kidnap me without hurting my friends. Forgive me, my lord, if I sound offensive, but the dust of your lotus feet is coveted by the goddess of fortune. And the dust of your lotus feet is covered by the goddess of fortune. And the demigods and even Lord Shiva desires to cover his body with this dust. If you do not offer me the same as a token of your mercy, then I will surely take an oath to quit this body. Oh, my lotus-eyed Lord, please listen. Please listen. I am willing to go through as many lifetimes as is required, but I must receive the dust of your lotus feet. Chaitanya then turned to the Brahmana and said, "Have you heard carefully, O Brahman? Now run swiftly to Krishna with the message and beg him on my behalf." Thus the Lord manifested Rukmini's mood and emotions, making the devotees sometimes weep and other times laugh. All this happening under the influence of love of Krishna. Chandrasekhar's house reverberated with jubilant sounds of Lord Hari's names. Haridas continued his duty as the guard who wakes up everyone, and Srivas Pandit playing Narda Muni contributed by dancing. The first scene ended up in a merry note. Haridas continued his duty as a guard who wakes up everyone, and Srivas Pandit, playing Narda Muni, contributed by dancing. The first scene ended upon this merry note. The second scene commenced with Gadadhar Pandit as Rama Devi entering the arena with her old lady companion, enacted by Brahmananda. Brahmananda was so well costumed with a net like cloth draped over the shoulders that he was unrecognizable as in his role as an old lady with a stick in one hand and a basket clamped under other arm. Haridas inquired, "Where are you ladling?" Brahmananda replied, "Mathura is our destination." Srivas Pandit further probed, "Who are your husbands?" Brahmananda rallied, "Why must you know that?" Srivas said, Is it not proper to ask?" Brahmananda simply said, "Yes, yes," and shook his head. Gangadas said, "Where will you stay today?" Brahmananda replied, "Why do you ask? Oh, will you give us a place?" Gangadas said, "That is a big request. No need for further discussions. You must move away from here." Advaitacharya then spoke up. "What is the necessity of such interrogations? Others' wives are to be respected as one's mother. So, why talk in this manner? However, my lord is extremely fond of singing and dancing. So dance now, and you will receive some handsome rewards. However, my lord is extremely fond of singing and dancing. So dance now, and you will receive some handsome rewards." Advaita Acharya's words were soothing to Gadadhar Pandit, and being encouraged and pleased, he began to dance. And he was dressed as Ramadevi, Lakshmi Devi, and his dancing was enrapturing. The devotees sang appropriate songs in accompaniment. The devotees found themselves unable to remain patient. They were moved to tears by Gadadhar's ecstatic dancing. Gadadhar's tears of love of Krishna cascaded down to be received most gracefully by the fortunate Mother Earth. It was as if Ganga Devi had appeared in person. Indeed, the, the transcendental internal potency of Lord Krishna was perfectly portrayed. As Lord Chaitanya would often say, Gadadhar is my dearest companion from Vaikuntha. Those present in the assembly, the performing artists, and the audience were enraptured in Krishna praying. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, all around, Lord Hari's name was chanted loudly, accompanied by tears of loving ecstasy. Uh, all around, Lord Hari's name was chanted loudly, accompanied by tears of loving ecstasy. Gadadhar Pandit steeped in the mood of a gopi, danced and danced. Just then, Vishwambara entered the arena dressed as the original pleasure potency of the Lord, Radharani. In his front, Nityananda, as the old grandmother Purnamasi walked slightly bent, looking astutely about herself. Her whole demeanor exuded ecstatic love for Krishna. The Vaishnava assembly greeted them with loud, jubilant applause. It was it was impossible to recognize Chaitanya, as he had dressed himself very well and looked most charming. The audience saw just two ladies. The elderly lady played by Nityananda Prabhu and the young enchantress played by Chaitanya. But nothing indicated their actual identities. The assembly tried to guess who was who, but nobody could definitely decide. They started to wonder. Had Ram Devi, Lakshmi Devi, just now appeared out of the ocean? Or was this Sita Devi, the consort of Lord Ramachandra? Maybe she was Maha Lakshmi, the eternal consort of Lord Varian, or Parvati Devi, the wife of Lord Shiva. Is this the most precious gem of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani? Ah, speaking of Srimati Radharani, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, uh, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasari Gora Bhaktavinda, Nityananda, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Nectar Moon of Lord Chaitanya, Chaitanya Chandramrita. Chapter, chapter, hmm, Chapter 1. Let us glorify the boundlessly merciful, Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Prince of Raj, to taste the intoxicating sweet waves of the nectar of transcendental love of Krishna, love for Krishna, as well as give that nectar to others. He has now appeared in the transcendental abode of Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let us glorify that boundlessly merciful personality of Godhead, the Prince of Raj, to taste the intoxicated sweet waves of the nectar of transcendental love for Krishna. As well as give this nectar to others. He has now appeared in the transcendental abode of Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One who is untouched by any piety and who is completely absorbed in irreligion, or has never received the merciful glance of the devotees, or been to any holy place sanctified by them, will still ecstatically chant and loudly sing, and even on the ground, when he becomes intoxicated by tasting the nectar of the transcendental mellows of pure love of God, given by Lord Chaitanya. Let me therefore glorify that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. not attainable by the faithful performers of pious deeds, and not understood by those engaged in austerity. Hmm. Not attainable by the faithful performers of pious deeds, and not understood by those engaged in austerity, meditation, and yoga, and not guessed by those absorbed in detachment, renunciation, or prayers, and unknown even to the devotees full of love for Lord Govinda. The secret of pure devotional service has been revealed by the holy name during Lord Gore's advent. Let me glorify that Lord Gore. We'll continue that a little bit later. I think I got to stop for a while and be back later, maybe in the afternoon, evening. Okay, thank you very much for coming. That was a nice little break, Java break, Java break. Yeah. So thank you, dear friends, for coming, and it was nice to see you on that video there, Tuka. Do more of those if you feel like it. It was nice, nice, you're very articulate too. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Amy and Janaki and Shama Sundari and Tuka and Shamaguri and whoever else is here. See you in a little bit.